little bit, and then I gotta get dressed for the day. I might take a walk, babe, since we didn't go to the thing. Like I did when I was here before. I'll just see. I didn't go all the way like I went before, but we'll see how far I go. I got better sneakers. These aren't exactly walking sneakers either, but I'm glad to have them. They're better than the things I had on. So I might take a walk. We'll be back in the city by probably Tuesday because it's supposed to rain again Sunday night into Monday. And then Wednesday, I think it's only going to rain in the daytime. So we got some things we got to take care of in the city anyways. But I got to sign my releases at my therapist. I got to pick up my mail. I'm supposed to pick up my reduced Charlie card. I got to return the hotspot, which is going to be a day late. Sorry. Whoever put the hold on it that asked for it, it's going to be, they don't even know. I'm sure they don't notify them it's available till I return it. So it's going to be a day late. Sorry. It didn't even work on my laptop at the campground, and then we've been here, so we had internet, but we didn't really have any way of knowing that was going to happen. So the weather person, I'm pretty sure this morning, keeps saying it's going to be 70 today, but on the phone it says it's only going to be 59. It feels pretty warm out there right now to me, and it's only 10:30 in the morning. At first I thought she was talking about tomorrow, then I watched it again and she said Saturday. I'm like, today is Saturday. Oh yeah, I noticed too in terms of being told that there's a government shutdown, because apparently they're just telling people that are out of it why they don't have any doctors. Because clearly the government's not shut down. Because they said a healthcare crisis, so people have to have some reason, just like when they told you skimmers was stealing your money when it was actually the DTA office. Okay. Because you couldn't just go and attack the DTA office, just like you can't attack medical facilities. It's not those people's fault. Okay. You don't know anybody in your lives that's having issues with their brain. Okay. So when a doctor becomes ill like that, they can't keep practicing medicine. It doesn't make them a bad person. You can't demand somebody with dementia to help you because they can't do it anymore. And they take an oath to do no harm. So when they realize that they have problems with their brain, they just can't do it anymore. Well, I felt that that's what I was being told would happen. Okay. Because it's an extinction. And you can't cure cancer. Okay, you can't cure it. Just everything that's going on. Clearly, something is irradiating us. It's either people or God doing it. All the symptoms that people are having. So you can theorize that's what happened to the dinosaurs. You got to get out of here somehow. So that's apparently how God's doing it. It doesn't matter anymore, but in my opinion, obviously things would have been different had you stopped. And now it's far too late. It is. It's just like Barbara Ken. It's too late now. There's no stopping it. Just the nature of the beast. Just people would not stop because they thought that it wasn't fair. Just like they say about everything. It wasn't fair in 2010 and 2011 to just stop and then there wouldn't be any more injustice. That wasn't good enough for them. That's exactly what happened. You were told to upload your injustice. You all went, there's no way that we're letting these people um, pay off the banks in 2008. We're not allowing that. That is what you did. So there's no stopping it. You wanted to do a revenge on people that you hated and had an envy about, and you thought that we were responsible for your lives, all of it. All the stuff that we've all witnessed your testimony over the years. And then you're going to be in charge and you're going to make us punish and pay, and we're going to learn what it's like to be you and all this other madness. It's psychopathy unbound. Just people that don't have enough brain capacity to listen to things that make sense and don't make sense. That's exactly what happened. In 2008, we paid off the banks, and then you people would not hear that. And you still charged us bills. You still took our houses. You started taking our children. You're holocausting us. You're putting us into these shelter facilities, taking over all the governmental offices, taking over all the money. It's a madness. You're talking about electric cars and solar panels when it's explained to you about you can't keep burning the fuel like that because it's making people sick. So it's not shutting down. Right. It's not you're in a lesson and then you're going to go, we were wrong. We are sorry. Because you don't even say that anyway. And you were told certain actions that would happen if you ever got to the point of realizing that and actually being sorry. And you still have not done it. So there's not a possibility for you to do that. Number one. Number two, it's too late. Like you don't live in a fairyland. People are already getting cancer and dying, and people are getting dementia or whatever's going on with our brains. So it's over. You can't shut down a system because people have to be contained. People have to get food. No one walks anywhere. So it's just an impossible situation created by you, not me. So if you know back in those early years when you wouldn't do what you were told to do, but you'll make up you did because we're seeing that too. Trying to give yourselves vouchers from the government and then you tell yourselves that you're not in the system. It's insane. Just like you're telling yourselves you're hostages. Right? It's you pretend you. I listened to it, Barbara Kent, when I was in her house. She's a prisoner in a room. She has no money. She's a nun. She's homeless. It was day one, the housing approve every stipend. You still haven't done that. So there's all you did was house people that were already in housing, and you admitted it because you were asked if homeless people get priority, and you said no. Okay, you're mentally ill. You're mentally insane. So, and you're responsible for the deaths of millions of people that were trying to do what they were told. And I told you after COVID, over. You don't remember your governor, who wasn't your governor at the time, trying to explain it to you during COVID, and you still wouldn't do what you were told? Right. It's just, it's an impossible thing. It's like talking to a person who won't stop forgetting what you said and refusing to do it, like you're on a standoff that can only make sense for your extinction. Yeah, like, obviously, you thought you were just gonna go back in the world and everything restarts or something, and that can't make any logical sense. Like, is James Vanderburg back in the world and everything's gonna restart? You're not being screened for cancer. I suggest you don't even try because there's no cure for it. It's an ongoing irradiation. So, a lot of those treatments actually make it worse. If I told you to watch those Saw films, in particular Saw 10, Saw X, for you to understand it. A lot of these things they do are palliative care. That's why people have a surgery because their bowel gets blocked from cancer and they can't poop. Not that cured cancer. When you have no immune system anymore from radiation, right, you should understand that. Yeah, I mean, thank God for the people that are just maintaining and just you are sort of back in the world because that's all there is to do. Like, you definitely don't want anything to do with this. We're going to shut stuff down. We're going to have constant protests and uprises. It's pointless. Absolutely pointless. That was 15, 13 years ago. Right. Just absolutely pointless. Right. So don't expect people to suddenly renounce and all this stuff in Exodus 20 because it's pointless. Yeah, they don't, a whole bunch of Christians and other species don't need to torment themselves and end up out in the street. Just the horrifying nature of people that think that everybody's doing a procedure like stations of the cross when that's not what's going on. I was just talking to my husband and my sister about the Social Security. Right. It did improve at the DTA office, so hopefully it will improve at Social Security where they just every time they get an application, it's just approved. Not you go through a 4-year process. You just approve it. Okay. Like, what is the problem with doing that? Many of those people still continue to work, and you have plenty of workers. Just it's sort of, I guess, a letting go of whatever it is you thought you were doing by denying every application. They don't do that stuff at DTA anymore. Right. That's why thank God for the providers that sign off on the stuff. It wouldn't matter how much you worked, by the way, when all you're going to make is minimum wage and the housing is too expensive. So that's completely irrational of thought. Or that you help people with brain injury and people that are mentally ill by forcing them to work when they're still going to be homeless, by the way. Okay, that's just you're stuck in yesterday and you need to stop doing it. Though some of these people need it to supplement their income. They will still continue to work. Okay, and that other people want to be able to leave there because we have no hope of getting housing and we're clearly disabled. It's just terrible. You just close 900 Starbucks and then you're still going to say you don't have enough workers? It's just It doesn't even mean work, it means walk. Okay, it's just hopeless. I don't know, probably somewhere along the way, somewhere inside of Barbara Crane's brain matter, she just goes, oh God. After screaming at me in an anger that that's all people need to do is walk, that's going to solve all these problems. I guess when people are dying in front of you now from free electrons and cancer, that you understand, yeah, that that would have helped it. And people that can't do anything but take medication and drink because you won't let us walk anywhere. And then you realize the dire nature of your existence right now. That you were completely wrong, okay? And you had something wrong with your brain and you kept insisting that people needed to work and not walk. So anyway, I mean that's what I'm gathering. They're explaining today about why do you keep saying the government shut down? It's similar to when they told you skimmers were the reason that your money was stolen off your DTA card in October of 2024. Was it? No, it must have been 2023. Okay. When you stole 600, you shut off my money and you stole $600 off of it and didn't tell me that you did it. That's why they told you skimmers were doing it. And then a year later, they sent a letter admitting that they did it and that you have to take the money out within 90 days or they take it back. That's not what they said at the time. They said it was skimmers. And then when they were asked by the higher ups, they have to answer. They said that we had to pay back Social Security when we didn't even get Social Security. We weren't approved for it. Well, because people got brain sick and did something they weren't supposed to do, and apparently they agreed to stop working. So that's right. I don't know. I don't know what where those people are, what they're doing. When they were asked if you give priority housing to homeless people, they said no. I have no idea if they finally agreed to stop working for whatever it was they were working for, housing, some corporation that's building apartments. That shouldn't make sense. That seems mentally ill, and you stop working. That you would even think that's something you do. Just like tell a couple they're getting an apartment and then make up four different excuses about why we're not getting it. It was income based, right? I already obviously discussed it with my therapist, which helps. So I'm glad that Brian has a therapist now because you actually begin to think you're completely insane. These people are so sick. And it's just brutally cruel too. Just 15 years of just brutal cruelty. Well, I guess you have hope for a peaceful death and that you will transition into another form of life. That's what I would suggest. And that you try to maintain your Christian values during this time because I've explained to you what can happen with the dementia, okay, and how no one in your family will be able to deal with you because I just remember it with Barbara Kenta, her son going through it, going, "You are so sick." After the James Franco thing, we went over some of it. Okay. So things like staying celibate, staying sober, that helps. Because sometimes people, it starts out with a weird amorality that's not even typical to their personality. So, and then that can become sort of frightening too. It's just part of brain loss. Talking about baseball now. Again, if you would stop keeping people hostage in a Holocaust, none of that would seem fucked up and sick and cruel and mean to me. Given the thing about the vouchers and stuff for the utility bills, I would say that the people that are holding on to the housing, they're lost. You're never gonna. Nope. That's why it's gone to just approve every stipend as you were told, because then we can go to another part of the country where they allow year-round camping. First of all, we're disabled, so we can't work. And second of all, Exodus 2010. And you have plenty of workers. I just explained it. You close down Starbucks. Those people can work somewhere else. You don't have a lack of workers. It's because you don't walk. You're not hearing what God is saying. Just when you're forcing people to carry all their belongings around, okay, you're literally stopping us from walking. You literally are stopping us from walking. That's why you don't want us to have even a campsite, an apartment. That's why. It doesn't matter what you're making up in your head you're doing. That's all you're doing. Some of the people on the bicycles, they might be doing that because they know that you don't care about that because that's not walking. There's a more of a protection if you're on a bicycle probably than if you're a walker or a jogger. They're saying showers and breezy on Wednesday. I'd really rather not wait until Wednesday, but my sister mentioned about the rain. Yeah, simply because I'm supposed to sign those releases still for Social Security. Why I can't do it over the phone or electronically, I don't know. You'd have to ask my therapist that. But the hearing is on the 4th, so sometimes it's not her, but other things that I'm not gonna mention. Sometimes people do things that you question, like, what that is. If they still think that, like, they've gotta make sure we're in a certain area and stuff, you're not supposed to be making sure we're in a certain area. You're not. That's got something to do with panic or something. Yeah, I think some of that has calmed down with some people because you go, "What do you think we're supposed to do? Just lay in the pouring rain? Would you be able to sleep and laying in the pouring rain? Like, what do you think we're supposed to do?" I know, just yeah, I think if you have anything to do with signing disability documents and stuff, I think all you should be doing in terms of helping the hostages is doing everything and anything you can to get our Social Security approved. Okay, because clearly people will just die from the elements outside like that, and it's not pleasant. And like I said, after that, then start saying that people have mental health problems. Okay, because that didn't make any sense. Okay, and apparently that person got so sick, God ended his life. Right, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, maybe that person thought we were all getting Social Security or something, and then wouldn't pay a rent on purpose, or wouldn't go camping and pay the fee. Okay, there's no year-round camping here that's not $1,400 a month in a trailer. When you're against fuel use, you're not going to have a trailer. By the way, you're not going to have that. You don't have an RV when you're against fuel use. You just don't. My only option is year-round tent camping or like something that's permanently there and I just rent it. That's my options for living. I already thought about it. It wouldn't even matter how much money I had. I'm not buying an RV and going back to driving. No. When I was at the campground, by the way, I refused rides for a reason because I just don't want to do it. I don't want to be forced to walk 57 miles either, don't get me wrong, but just explaining something. It's just not an option to me to ever own a vehicle and put gas in it and drive and beep the horn and do directionals. No. I was like pissed. I don't even like the electric campsites. I think it's funny. And then people came with like, I think they were like probably solar panels and they stuck them all together. And Brian and I were pissed. I guess sometimes you think you're an asshole until you really start to think about it and you go, yeah, we really are just not meant for this world at all. Just why is there electricity over here? We want it to be pitch black. That's why we're in this area. I explained the thing about the moonlight too. You don't even need lights. You get used to it. Obviously, we'll both miss our phones eventually. I mean, I don't see really that happening for until a rebirth. Clearly, I mean, look around. But yeah, you probably miss the electronics a little bit, but in the regular thing, you probably don't even have a need to be doing that. Yeah, you don't even need to be doing that in a regular life because it's nothing like this. This is a horror. I got to heat up my coffee now because I left it sitting too long. So we again did not win the cruise or the 30 days, 30 cruises. So I think tomorrow's the Viking one, which is when you ever going to go on a Viking on Oceania. But hold my breath till the 25th of October. So I suppose I can say that it's not the State Department. Okay. So it's not the State Department doing this insanity. And as of right now, it's not the DTA office. Okay. So you still have the people that control the housing and the people that control the Social Security Administration. It's not about doing what they've been doing for years, by the way, which is criminal and fraud. We're actually disabled. Okay, just I don't know how many ways to explain it. We are actually disabled. It shouldn't be, we shouldn't even have to be doing this. And it's been like that since the day I applied. It's called PTSD. And it should have seemed insane when you knew what was going on with me. Okay, just that shouldn't have seemed like something that happens. And you just go, oh, whatever. I did say that to the secretary in 2018. So someone just pretends for 6 years they can't work when this is my living conditions. Okay. But yet it still rages on. I would say that anything in terms of, I don't have to prove a goddamn thing, but in terms of that, it would be December of 2019 when depraved, deranged animals put me in a room in Quincy. Okay, I would say that if you said something like, she what does she expect? Like she isn't even doing this or something, something. I agreed to go into a room in a rooming house. Okay. I had no income. And they put in a coin operated washer and dryer after giving everybody scabies. Okay. And the place was called Claremont House. That's where I lived in Claremont, Florida. Like you've got to go, how can people be that psychopathically deranged? They are. Okay. They most definitely are. Because their brains make up all this stuff like that has to be what's going on as their brain is dying. I wouldn't even ask for money. I wouldn't even ask for money. And then after that, I again went back to that place, the shelter, and I'm in my head going, "This is it. I'm just going to live in a shelter for the rest of my life. Not why would I need an income? I wasn't smoking then, and I have my SNAP card. It is what it is." And then they did more bullshit to me. How many times over do deranged, depraved animals have to prove that everybody has to use money before you fucking stop it? Okay. Prove point whatever the fuck you need to do. And then that makes it okay? Okay, well, I guess tell that to your colon cancer and your breast cancer and your thyroid cancer because I'm not listening to that. That's just a roundabout of profound insanity. We're done with it. Went over it for years. If everybody stopped, then everybody would be stopped. Over. Okay. Over. You can't care also that some of these folks think that they're saved and all this shit. Who the fuck cares? Who cares? The Social Security so that we can leave the Massachusetts and not lay on the fucking ground. Yeah. Okay. Because some people did go back to working. I don't know what that proves in your head because you're still all dying from fucking cancer. So everything in your head that you're making up doesn't have to matter to me. I don't have to believe it. I don't have to tell you everything you do is okay. You have nothing to do with me. You shouldn't even care what I fucking think. Just like I don't care what you think. Sometimes it's just, God, I'm done. I don't want to know. But maybe other people want to know. It helps them when I do this and explain things because some people want to know constantly, what are people doing? Why are they doing it? I mean, I like psychiatry, but it comes to a point where you just go, yeah, I'm not, yeah, you just don't discuss it anymore. You just go, look, we're not, nope, okay, bye. Just no more conversation. We stand here, just like during, so we stand here. It's a real virus. We put this on our face and we stand here, and then we can get food and water. Okay. So you now see why we know. I do, but I don't. I do, but I don't. I do, but I don't. Don't even get into it with them. But honestly, it's just, I'm trying to be kind, but you're not going to exist. So all those things that you make up, all those doctrines you make up where people have to forgive and all, you're not going to exist. Okay. So as much as that bothers you, you won't be thoughts in my head. Just some of the concepts, that's for you maybe wherever you're going. For your mental state, you have to forgive. Okay. Whatever you're transitioning into, you have to forgive. I don't. I would say some of the horror we gotta listen to after Aaron Carter died too, about he never did something like he's lost because he probably said "fuck you" and never turned into a primate. So he's lost. Okay, right. Have a grief period. I'm lost because I'm never going to think like you do. In a sense, it reminds me of Tom Kent with his mother because he was tormented that just coming to an acceptance that this woman is never going to be sane. She's never going to go back in time and redo birthing you and be a proper mother. It's not going to happen. She's mentally ill, right? You're never going to get me to turn into a primate. And I understand all your thoughts and your dementia and everything you do is okay and everything's forgiven. And no, and I don't have to because you're not going to exist. I have no idea if you're going to be like a snail or an ant or something, but you won't be around me. Probably, you know that you would be completely forgotten, maybe, and that's sort of bothersome to your ego. I've noticed that it's really important for your species to be important to everybody. Okay, that's a profound insanity to my species. Okay, like everybody has to know everybody and everybody has to be important to everybody. Okay, just ants are important, right? So when if you become an ant, I guess think of this now. If you become an ant, just know if I knew it was you, I'd go, oh, now you're important. Worms, ants, squirrels, birds, important. Because clearly in my heaven, I don't need another person. I might like a person and marry them or hang out with friends when I feel like it, but I don't need another person in the kingdom of heaven. I guess I would, if I had to think about myself, like the little brief things in this cycle with when I'm camping and stuff. I don't know. I think I sort of enjoy just the so unimportantness of myself. I like being like the dumb, species that, and you just go, oh my god, like, uh, yeah, the opposite of what you guys are. Just the things in my life that are so funny, like when I found out that the guys eat sunflowers. I mean, not sunflowers, dandelions. And then I went, "Oh my god, that's what you eat? There's a whole bunch of them over there." And just the look on the whereas your species flies into rages when you realize you just said something so dumb. Like you just be you are so dumb, but to realize you're dumb is like the worst possible thing. Whereas to me, realizing I'm dumb is actually funny. It's a great sense of security, I guess, to realize that I'm dumb and the other species are running everything for me. Just I couldn't imagine just reconstructing like what beavers and worms and stuff are doing. Imagine if you thought that you're supposed to stop worms and you're going to reconstruct pathways underground and stuff. Could you imagine being that deranged? That's probably what ants do. But they're actually not deranged because ants would do what God told them to do. They don't demand they have free will and do whatever the fuck they want. Just that I had to listen to that stuff from Barbara Kentford. We have free will. That would be why you're not staying on planet Earth in this physical form because there is no free will. Yeah, like the way I say it is sometimes he'll let you think that you thought something like great, but I mean, in your head you didn't. You know it's him. When you ended up in the right place, you go, "Oh, yeah, that's because he got me here." And when you end up in the wrong place, I go, "Yeah, I guess I didn't do what the fuck he was saying because here I am in the wrong place." There's no free will, but just the way the brain works, you sort of like that. You go, "Yeah, okay, well, he's in charge," and you don't go, "Oh my God, my brain doesn't even think. I just walked all the way here right to the water source that's clean because I don't have a mind anymore." Ah, like I feel like that's what Barbara Kent was happening to. It's terrible. It's really terrible. Like you guys are going to be a lot happier after you pass away. Yeah, like she would whimper and stuff because she knew that he was doing it, and it's just not a human brain, a human psyche at all. Yeah, like, yay, he's in charge of everything, and I just bop around like a dodo head. Yeah, yep. There's not anything I can possibly do that's gonna fuck up the whole system or whatever. You just go, that one sound like he was in a struggle to like keep things that he could think. The way he was just talking, and I'm a quarterback, and I'm gonna do this and that, and like it sounded like a mantra, like he's doing the rosary so that he God doesn't take over his brain. And I'm a person, and I'm in the world, and this is real. It didn't sound like that. That's what it sounded like to me. I suppose I'll shut this off because I said I wanted to take a walk before I don't do it at all.